make sure that there's just a record of this visually on my end as a documentarian, that this will be available for free for people for generations to come so they can look back on it. But World War II was just a war that was documented so well visually and with supporting documents and writing. I mean, the biggest thing is just to leave a reminder to people that things like this can happen again if we're not aware of the red flags and the warning signs.
Seeing any site related to the Holocaust or World War II really starts to kind of bring into very clear focus what happened, what was at stake in those places, and visiting them is important for that. But for people who can't visit them, documentary films give them a chance to access those sites in a way that they might not otherwise. And it's not going to be the same experience as being there, but it can approximate it on some level.
The films will end up on American public television, and actually they do really well. For PBS, they rank in the top 5 of most requested programs by PBS stations nationally. So we've done 38 films so far, and we've got another 8 in the planning stages and various forms of production. Most people take a 30,000-foot view of World War II. We take about a 5,000-foot view of World War II. And we find if we can tell personal stories that people will be engaged in for an hour, if we can keep them engaged for an hour, then that's a success and a win for us.
I have conversations with Tim before we start about what the stories are, what we're looking to cover. And I try to keep digging into that story with him to try to understand what it is we might be looking for.
You learn to remember that the lists of names that you're looking at are individuals who had families and who had agency. You know, effectively you need to kind of constantly remind yourself why you're doing this, to ensure that the memory of the victim stays alive.
I'm human, and occasionally you're overcome with emotion, but you're driven by the message that you're trying to tell and honoring the person or people that you're working with, or the memory of people who have passed through a place before you.
So you'll get a nice solid background doing what you're doing as filmmakers and leaving your schools as either journalism majors or film majors, and it means you can go in a myriad of different ways.
Students are just so engaged, they're so respectful, and they seem really motivated. They just are they're like sponges wanting to soak up all of Jim and Tim's work, but also, the historians, learning everything that they can from all of them. They're just eager to learn, and they're very good workers.
I think that the fact that I was going to be here with students, and I've had a long friendship with Sheila and Tim Gray, and then having the opportunity to see this blossom over a period of 3 years, there was a vitality in that. So it's pretty special stuff.
I noticed that there are multiple different majors, multiple different abilities that each student has, and I think it's really cool to bring that all together, because some students will know a lot more about history and engage in that and want to do more of video on that, and some will be more directly filmmaking and will love to work with Jim one-on-one.
You learn so much. I mean, you learn the history part, you learn the technical part of making a film, the sound part, how to act on set, this and that and everything else. And then it's the contacts you make with people. I think it's probably the richest part that I take out, is just the contact and meeting people.
I think it's important that we as adults not put the burden on the younger generation. Walk together with younger generations, and that way that also helps keep people's memories alive.
I think it's important for younger people to continue to document history, and it's important for us as a nonprofit organization to help mentor young people on this road. Preserving the stories for future generations and the current generation is the most rewarding thing.
I really think it's an amazing experience, and I'm really glad my dad gets to bring all these school kids into it every year, multiple times a year, to really engage and show them around. It's been a wonderful experience.